Welcome to another edition of Walton Entertainment. Today we'll have more news, information, and entertainment from your local hometown.
Thank you, Ms. Norman. And as our presenter said, again, they'll all be available in the hallway out here where the information is after the presentation. But first, it is my great honor to introduce Georgia's 54th Attorney General, Chris Carr. He previously served as the Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Economic Development, and he was Chief of Staff to Senator Johnny Isakson. He's made it a top priority to protect Georgia's seniors by aggressively prosecuting those who scam and abuse them. So please join me in welcoming Attorney General Chris Carr.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is great to be with you. I've already learned a lot, so thank you all for having me. I'm going to leave now. That's been great. Congressman, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you very much for your service and your friendship. Mayor, great to be in your city. Thank you for your service and your friendship. We've got great public servants, and it's an honor to be here. One of the major issues that we have decided we're going to tackle at the Department of Law is what we call abuse of older and at-risk Georgians. And at-risk Georgians are anybody over the age of 18 who has a mental or physical incapacity that makes them vulnerable. I was just this morning at a meeting of the Grace Commission. And the Grace Commission is First Lady Marty Kemp's commission is fighting human trafficking. And she's brought a number of different groups together. And the common theme there is, I believe that we have not just a legal obligation to stand up for vulnerable populations, I think we have a moral obligation as well. And so abuse of older and at-risk Georgians is an issue that is near and dear to my heart. There's two different areas when we talk about abuse. Look, it is a good thing that we are living longer as a society. But what it's done is it's provided more opportunities for folks to take advantage of individuals, particularly later in life, with their life savings or with their physical, mental, or emotional health. We have folks in the state, unfortunately, that will take advantage of individuals physically and emotionally and mentally. In fact, we'll have folks that will go out and either recruit to try to steal benefits or their identity or something along those lines. But we also have folks that will also try to take advantage of folks financially. And unfortunately, about 90% of the cases that we see of financial exploitation are oftentimes family members. Now, one of the other areas that we see obviously a lot of time and attention now are scams. Door-to-door scams, phone scams, online scams, and that sort of thing. And I was the former commissioner of the Georgia Department of Economic Development. I'm pro-business. I'm a big believer in private sector. I'm a big believer in creating an environment where companies can succeed and hire people to do things. But there's absolutely nothing pro-business about companies that will defraud or individuals who defraud individuals. And so part of our duty at the department through our Consumer Protection Division is to make sure that we protect Georgia consumers and businesses that do it the right way. So I wanted to kind of set that up a little bit, just kind of big picture what we do and why we do it. And I think it's important that we do it. But let me tell you, you heard from Sean Conroy a little bit ago, and I think he was on a panel. Sean he's from our Consumer Protection Division. Let me just tell you a little bit about that division. It exists to help maintain a level playing field between consumers and businesses alike. As I mentioned, not just to protect Georgia consumers, but businesses that do it the right way, legitimate business enterprises. And we do this through enforcement, and we do it through education. So the main law that's enforced by our Consumer Protection Division is called the Georgia Fair Business Practices Act. And this law prohibits unfair and deceptive acts and practices in the marketplace. It applies to consumer transactions involving the sale, lease, or rental of goods, services, or property, mainly for use, for personal use, or for family use, or for household purposes. So that's the main law that we enforce. So let me give you a couple of examples of what unfair practices might be. First is passing off goods or services as those of another. So for example, you represent that a product or service was manufactured or provided by your company X when in fact you got it from company Y. But that's what you told folks it was. Number two, you claim that goods come from a particular place when in fact they do not. For example, claiming something is made in the USA when it isn't in fact made in the United States. Representing that goods are new when they're actually used. Claiming falsely that goods or services are of a particular quality or grade. And selling, for example, 10 karat gold jewelry, but saying that it's 14 karat gold. Making false or misleading statements about another business or its products or services. Again, false or misleading statements. Bait and switch tactics. Advertising goods or services without having enough merchandise on hand to meet the expected demand, unless you actually say quantities are limited. So you can't say we have all this in stock to try to draw somebody in at one price when in fact you don't have it and you charge folks another price. And the final would be making false or misleading statements about sale prices. For example, advertising on sale today only when the item has been offered at that price for a while. So that gives you an idea of some of the ways that folks will do this. So our enforcement comes in the form of investigating when we see what looks like a pattern or practice of unfair or deceptive conduct that has a broad impact on the marketplace. We do a lot of consumer education. Our efforts are focused for our team as well. We believe that an educated consumer is in fact much better able to protect themselves and their family, make sure that they're not a victim. We believe that legitimate businesses want to be helped in learning how to avoid acting illegally. In fact, oftentimes we will find out from legitimate businesses when there are illegitimate businesses in the field that are undercutting them or doing things the wrong way. Our efforts include speaking engagements, media alerts when we learn of new scams that are out there in the marketplace. We have a website called Consumer Ed that's designed to help consumers in connection with credit or debt or home purchases or finance issues. And we have a bi-weekly blog and newspaper called Ask Consumer Ed where we get questions. It's an Ann Landers type column that we have. So supporting older Georgians and at-risk Georgians is an integral part of what we do from a consumer protection standpoint. So we know that there are a lot of unique challenges out there with technology or folks, again, coming door to door or making phone calls. So we have done a number of different things. One is we have designed a very successful Georgia Consumer Protection Guide for older adults. We have it in hard copy. Sean, we have some here. So Sean in the back is holding up the harder copy. And we also have them online. Now, I will say these are for two different groups of people. They're for the individual themselves. And I have a 76 and 77-year-old mother and father, and so I want to make sure that they protect themselves. But it's also for those of us that care and love our 76 and 77-year-old mother and father to make sure we can also be aware of ways that we can protect them and help folks navigate. So topics in this guide, which has been great, we've had to reprint it several times, include scams that target seniors, identity theft, credit and debt, scams, long-term care, advanced directives, elder abuse issues, and more, some of the stuff that I talked about earlier. And the guide also will educate readers on defenses that are carved out in Georgia law should you fall victim to abuse in any form. So again, we have a hard copy in the back. Please go to consumer.ga.gov if you'd like to get the online version. And so we're going to continue to do that. I'm very, very pleased with that particular guide. Also, I want to just, I'm very, very proud of this. We just put out the numbers. So how do we know if we're doing an effective job for the taxpayers of Georgia? Well, last year we reported $109,938,221 in savings and benefits to Georgia consumers and Georgia taxpayers. $109 million, almost $110 million. During that time, those who filed under Georgia's Lemon Law received over $29 million through vehicle repair, replacement, or repurchase. So if you have issues under Georgia's Lemon Law, purchasing a vehicle, we can help with that as well. Our intake division answered nearly 17,000 consumer complaints and inquiries. And those complaints had to do with used car sales, debt issues, auto repairs, landlord and tenant issues, home improvement and repairs, health issues, utilities, new car sales, and insurance issues. And in addition, we actually assisted 430,000 Georgians with consumer education and outreach efforts. So you can see this is a big division that does a lot, and we're very, very proud of our work. So again, you can go on our website. We get out like Sean and I are doing today. You can download our consumer protection guides. We do events like partner with Congressman Heiss. We partnered with Senator Perdue in Columbus a couple of months ago. So those are the types of things that we do as well. Another area we've got to be aware of is cybersecurity. We actually have a cybersecurity guide that we're going to be putting out. So we've done a guide for older adults. We've done a guide for veterans because we have a major veterans population in this state. But then the other thing I saw was, again, cybersecurity concerns for small businesses, houses of worship, and nonprofits. And the reason is we see all the time now about data breaches and cybersecurity. Well, that could be an existential issue because we don't have a lot in the budget for cybersecurity, but oftentimes we have credit cards or we have personal information that they're protecting. We want to help ways to protect that. And a lot of houses of worship no longer passing the plate doing an online draw. Well, if a church or a house of worship gets hacked, that's going to be a big deal for them. And then nonprofits. I have, for example, a high school classmate that's the president of Make-A-Wish Georgia. Well, if they get hacked, their fundraising is going to be significantly damaged, and that could impact their ability to help folks. So we're going to come out very, very soon with a cyber guide for small businesses, house of worship, and nonprofits. So lots going on in that space. Now here's an issue. It's one of the top two or three issues that I hear from. Anybody get a robocall lately? 48 billion robocalls in 2018 in the United States, and most of them came from overseas. Congressman Heiss has been working on this issue. We've been working on this issue. Our office just joined, and all kidding aside, this is probably one of the top one or two, and the other's vaping. Now, if you've heard about vaping with kids and that sort of thing, that's another issue that we hear from. So I joined a group of 50 AGs from around the country, urging the Federal Communications Commission to encourage the telecom companies and to get together, and they've done this, to implement call blocking strategies and methods. So a couple things that we've asked them to do, and there's 12 companies that have agreed to do this: offer free automatic call blocking services to all customers. So these call services should be based on reasonable analytics and should not block important calls, including emergency calls or automated calls that customers have actually signed up for, like medical reminders. So that's important that we work together on this issue. But also to monitor at the network level of each company ways that we can identify suspect calls and then work together to investigate those calls as well. I'd implement call authentication technology, which will help us figure out where calls are actually coming from, where we can verify and identify certain numbers. And there's also this thing called spoofing, where it looks like it's one number, but it's actually another number as well, where we can work on that as well. So we're working with other state AGs, and again, I know this is an issue that the congressman has worked on as well, the Stop Bad Robocalls Act. Is that what the bill that you had supported? So we're working on this. We also have gotten together recently to put some comments back to the Federal Communications Commission and some other areas as well. But please know that this is an issue, and the problem is this: many of these robocalls exist for nothing else than to take your money and to scam you. And I know there was a great presentation beforehand. Let me just say one thing. People say, what's the one way folks can protect themselves? Remember this: the government, the IRS, the courts, our office, me, driver services, they don't call you and don't send you an email. If they need you, they will send you a letter. That's number one. And number two, as I heard said, you control the transaction. You don't have to buy anything that you didn't ask for. You don't have to answer the door. You can hang up the phone. Just remember that you are in control. And if somebody calls and says your power bill's overdue or you owe money to the IRS, hang up. Go find their number yourself. You call them. You find out whether that's the case. But we're going to work on these robocalls because these are a big issue and causing a lot of damage. Also, we have a Medicaid fraud division, and the Medicaid fraud division goes out and investigates providers that are defrauding the Medicaid fraud system. So that's the state-based system as well. In fact, we just recently had a case here in Gwinnett County where we have indicted a couple, had a guilty plea in a case where an individual was defrauding the system, and that's a big issue for us as well, because again, if we have an obligation not just to individuals and consumers, but where we have provided government services, they need to be done without waste, fraud, and abuse. And where we find fraud and abuse, we're going to go after those individuals, particularly at the provider level as well. And one final scam too that I wanted to mention that's been recently in the news, because and I think it's because of Ancestry.com, but it's genetic testing. We're now seeing a lot of folks that are coming either door to door or making a phone call saying, hey, we'll give you a free genetic testing program. Well, what's happening is people are getting biomedical data on you because they're doing a swab and that sort of thing, but they're also getting your social security number and they're getting some personally identifiable information. But then what they're also doing is they're back channeling and billing Medicare or Medicaid. So not only are they engaging in identity theft and stealing from you, but they're stealing from taxpayers as well. So this is a big deal. Be very, very wary, again, if folks are wanting, if you haven't asked, and what they're also doing is there is genetic testing that's obviously important for medical purposes. Well, you go and talk with your doctor about whether you think that that's the appropriate thing. Don't trust anybody that's come to talk with you to say that this may be good for you. If you suspect at any point any fraud, you can call our Consumer Protection Division. If you think it's in the Medicaid space, you can call our Medicaid Fraud Office at the Department of Law. 404-656-5400 is the Medicaid fraud. 404-656-5400. So there are, unfortunately, scams aren't going away. And again, folks are finding more and more ways to separate people from their hard-earned dollars, from their life savings. We want to make sure that that doesn't happen. Please grab one of our consumer protection guys on your way out. I'll tell you, it gets more and more complicated all the time. I'll tell you an interesting scam that we've heard of recently as well. It involves me. What's happened is folks are getting a phone call from somebody saying you are on a drug laundering or drug trafficking or money laundering list. Well, if anybody gets that call, it's going to get your attention. And what they say is Attorney General Chris Carr is going to give you a call to confirm this. And in just a few minutes, you get a phone call from Attorney General Chris Carr. But y'all remember what this bald guy looks like and sounds like, okay? So what happens is I will be on the phone and say, you know what, we realize it isn't you, but they're after your money. So why don't you send the money to our office for safekeeping until we arrest them? And we'll stay on the phone, and they'll stay on the phone for hours in some cases to get either you to go to the bank or to Western Union or online. And then, miraculously, the criminals are arrested. And I tell you, don't worry, I'll call you tomorrow to tell you how to get your money back. And guess what? You never hear back from the bald guy. Be careful. Be careful. If you have any questions, call our office. There is nothing that we will go after anybody. As I said before, I think this isn't just a legal but a moral obligation of our office, and it is an honor to be able to serve as your Attorney General. And the purpose of our office is to defend the Constitution of the United States, the constitutional laws of the state of Georgia, and to represent the interests of the people of Georgia. And that's what I do each and every day. And thank you all very much for having me. Congressman, thank you.
You're watching Walton Entertainment.
Yeah, so y'all need to be giving me
Turn it into the, and once you turn in that letter, if they take it to your Powerball, that is illegal.
Emotions were showing Thursday night at a community meeting at the Senior Center when Conestoga Mobile Home Park residents showed up to fight for their homes.
see what's funny.
I'm sorry, somebody said build a new jail.
Because this is not funny.
No, no, please, no.
A lot of these people, their whole life is here.
That we did have a lawyer who has been trying to work with the city and all for Conestoga. Now, he wasn't just working for one person. He was working for everyone. Now, nobody has bought Universal Arundel, but down below it, the guy did. And he's putting 200 homes over there. Now, I don't mean just homes. What I don't understand is they know Walton County, Monroe, Walton County period, is a poor county. We are a low-income county. So they want to build these big fancy houses. How can they expect us, people like us who are low income, to buy a $200,000 home when we don't have the people, the jobs here?
June 7th, code enforcement for the city of Monroe sent the property owner of Conestoga Mobile Home Park a letter notifying him of the code violations. The property owner failed to make any repairs or to address any of the issues the city had pointed out. Now the residents have been notified by the city of Monroe that on October 11th, utilities including power and water will be disconnected, leaving the residents that live there now scrambling to find other places to live.
It's kind of unfair to these elderly people. It really is. A lot of these folks who's on fixed incomes, you know, they've been living a certain way for a long time now. What are they going to do? They can't jump up and pay that much extra for rent. These people on disability and fixed incomes, I feel bad for them. I'm getting kicked out too.
I don't know what we're going to do. To be honest about it, I really don't. I wish I did. That way I could tell myself I got a backup plan or whatever, but I don't. I mean, I'm just going to have to find somewhere to move to. I mean, the way they're talking, I mean, we're just going to have to go with our gut feeling, I guess. You know, I mean, we're going to be thrown out. I mean, it's just like that. On the 11th of October.
Tell us about how you found out, how they notified you.
We didn't find out until a couple of weeks ago when I had my leg cut off. I got out of the hospital, and it's the first thing that hit me in my face. You know, they met me with the door with a paper saying on the October the 11th they was going to cut the power off. I ain't behind the bid on my rent or light bill. I mean, I've been there 20 years, and I don't know what I'm going to do, man, to be honest with you. I don't. I don't know.
Are you in need of tractor work, bush hogging, grading, cleaning, sod installs, and drainage repair? Then you need Bold Springs Landscape Solutions. Bold Springs Landscape Solutions is a licensed, insured, and certified landscape solutions company. Their services include grading and drainage, bush hogging and clearing work, as well as fencing, landscape, and sod installation. Contact Bold Springs Landscape Solutions today. In 1953, two hearts met. Meet Bobby and Frank, who've seen some good times and some not so good times. But they've stayed together and still married after 66 years.
She lived in Decatur. I lived in College Park. And as long as that car would run, I'd go to Decatur. Sometimes the car wouldn't run, so I hitchhiked. When I was working on the car, she'd ride the bus. She worked and she rode the bus out to the house. Now I get the car fixed and take her home. Take engagement ring and get engaged. And that was somewhere around early September or October, I don't remember. And then we set the date for 9/11. That was on, I think it was on a Saturday. Her grandfather was a minister, and he married us in his house. We moved in with her grandparents for a while. Then built the house in College Park, and we moved there and stayed 25 years. And from College Park, we went to Fayette County and lived 10 years. She wanted to retire in the mountains, so we go to the mountains and find a house and move to LJ and spent 10 years. And arthritis got me down, so I moved to back in the middle of my 3 boys and girl. And we've been there now for 14 years. Our first house that we moved into, I was working with Good Brothers Poultry, delivering chickens. And one day at lunchtime, I come home and found her ex-boyfriend there. And he was, oh man, it shocked him. I mean, he didn't know. I don't normally go home for lunch, but I did that day. And he was an exterminator for bugs. And he was there. I just come by to visit. Yeah, I know what he's up to. But anyway, he stayed a few more minutes and he left. He never did come back no more. And we lost contact. And he was a good friend. We was in the church, and the preacher said, I want to ask some questions about some of you that's been married a long time. And he started off with anybody that's been married 30 years. And a bunch of them held a hand up, and he asked them all questions, and they answered them. Then he said anybody over 40 years, and they started up and asked all the questions. Then he got around to anybody over 50 years. And there was, I think, 3 couples in there. And the other 2 couples stood up and told them why. And the other 2 stood up and told them why. And then they got around to me, and I said, keeping your mouth shut. Everybody in that church started dying laughing. And she turned around and looked at her friend, and then she said, oh man. She packed her bags about a month ago. About a month ago, she packed her bags, and where are you going? I don't know. I'm going somewhere. She got in the car, gone about 15 minutes, and come back and unpacked. Oh, I just buy me an old folks home and move into it. She's still at home.
But he's been so good to me. And that's what marriage is all about. Not the fussing and not the fighting and not the getting back together, but it's the making up that is important. And if anybody is having trouble, sit down and talk about it. And you can get over it. And this is one of the things that we have always been able to do since we get mad at each other. But we, everybody has their problems. But he's always took care of everything. He has. He's been a wonderful husband. And we've had 4 kids, and I wouldn't change a thing. I really wouldn't. Because we had some bad times. I mean, everybody does. But trust is one of the most important things in a marriage. If you can't trust each other, you can't get through it. And so we had to, of course, we had our little arguments, you know, but never did we, I think I left him one time, didn't I? Twice, he said. But I know that we've been together a long time, and he can't go nowhere now. He gotta stay with me now. And we love each other. That's what counts.
Good morning. My name is Cassandra Hainsworth, and I am the 4-H agent here in Walton County. As you can see, we've had a great time today hanging out with our homeschool 4-H club. Our 4-Hers have a great opportunity to develop leadership and communication skills and get together as a team to learn about team building and just working together as a group. 4-H offers youth many opportunities. Some of those in our county include our shooting sports program, which is BB, archery, air rifle, and our modified trap and skeet. We also have our horse and goat club. So there are a lot of opportunities for our 4-Hers to be involved. So if you're interested in getting your child involved in our 4-H program, just contact us. We're located at 100 North Broad Street right here in downtown Monroe. We'd love to have your child a part of our program. Thanks.
Creative artists can offer you a wide range of video production. Call the experts and discuss your project today, whether it's your special event or your company. Creative Artist, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist produces this program you're watching. Call Creative Artist today, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist, they'll put you in the spotlight.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful, the Walton County Recycling Center. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Around the center, we've just stayed jam-packed. It has been really busy here for over a year now. We really haven't seen our numbers dip at all. Over the last month, we've had well over 2,100 cars across our scales, and that's not even counting everybody that's coming in just to recycle only. So we've got a lot of people coming in here doing their recycling, getting rid of some of their larger items that can't be thrown away at home, and we're excited to have them here. One thing I would encourage that we've talked about, you know, we've extended our Saturday hours from 2 to 3 to try to give you a little more time to get in here. But I would encourage people, if you can get in during the week, it's a lot less crowded than trying to do this on Saturday. We know some people get upset that they have to wait in line in order to get back and throw some of their items away, but there's not a whole lot we can do about that, and Saturdays is easily our busiest day. So, you know, try to set aside a little time during the week to get out here if you can. I know it's not easy to do, and the weekends are when you're able to do it. But if any way that you can, I think you would have a lot better experience and be a lot quicker in and out. So I did want to just let you know that, and because we have had some people frustrated with the amount of time they're having to wait here on Saturdays. Again, if you're kind of new to the county or to the area or community, you don't really know, either you don't recycle or don't know what all you can recycle, give us a call out here. Our direct number is 770-267-1421. You can come out and see us. We're out here at 2051 Leroy Anderson Road, just back behind Meadows Funeral Home in the cul-de-sac. Come on out, let us show you around, get you started recycling, show you the things we do recycle. One of the other things we're working on is October 5th will be our Rivers Alive event, and we've already had close to, we're probably going to hit close to that 300 volunteer number again of people that will be cleaning up on October 5th. They'll be cleaning some of the local waterways and areas adjacent to those waterways. So we're really excited about that event. We'll have a lot of people out that day doing some cleaning up. That's probably a reminder about that day as well, as we will have people out cleaning up, and sometimes they'll be out close to roadways and things like that. So be aware on that day that you may see some people out. Be looking for people that are off cleaning off on the sides of the roads, around rivers and things like that. And just be aware of them. We want to make sure they're safe out there cleaning up. They're doing something important and they're doing a good deed, and we certainly want them to feel safe out there. We also have some tentative plans for America Recycles Day this year. We're planning a paint collection event on November the 16th. That's Saturday, November 16th, here at the center. We have not got all of the times set yet, but most likely it's going to be between 8 and 12. We normally do about 4 hours of a collection event on that day. But we will be doing that again this year. As we get a little closer to the date, I'll come up with more details. We'll have some flyers around town. We'll have banners up around town. So we'll try to keep you posted on that. It'll also be on our website and our Facebook page. So keep a check on that, and we'll try to keep you posted. And again, come on out and see us. Give us a call. Find out what a resource we are here in Walton County, and how we could be helpful to you. So give us a call. Again, that number is 770-267-1421. And until next time, take care.
Hi, welcome to Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. The big news around here this week is on Saturday we have our second Saturday soiree, and so that's our fancy name for a big party that we're having once a month. We're bundling events here so you can have all your fun bundled up in one Saturday here once a month. We have several drop-in workshops. That means you don't have to pre-register. You just come and show up and have fun. We have clay angel ornaments for your Christmas tree. We have beaded bracelets, and we have a petting zoo that's coming here from a wildlife rescue, a licensed rescue organization. We're having a fundraiser for the Arts Center. Of course, we are Monroe and Walton County's only nonprofit community arts center. And so our board and some volunteers are getting together and putting together a barbecue fundraiser. We'll have home-baked goods, a barbecue plate with baked beans and the fixings on there for you. That will be available in our garden, along with the petting zoo will be out in the garden, and a lemonade stand, lemonade and iced tea. So we have you covered for food. That will be available from 11 until 4, or until we run out of the barbecue plates. And it will be really good food. We will also have a workshop that day that you do have to pre-register for, but it's the only one that day. So the others, you can just come and drop in and have fun. But we will have a beginner's class for painting silk scarves, and it's a very loose and flowing and creative class. It's not something that's very precise and that you feel like you have to have loads of natural talent. It's putting this flowing dye down on silk scarves. You'll be making 2, and so you can keep one and you can give one away. This is a great class for mother-daughter time, or for girlfriends to get together and have this class together. So that's the only one you have to pre-register for. The others are drop in and just come and hang out with us, have a lot of fun. So check us out on the web at monroewaltonarts.org. You can give us a call at 770-207-8937 and ask questions. If all this is just a big happy blur to you, feel free to give us a call. Check us out on the web. Our other big news, of course, is that our after-school arts program is back in full swing now. This is for kids age 7 and up. We have 2 classes going. One is for ages 7 to 11. Another class is for ages 12 and up. So give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to see your kids in our after-school arts program. You don't have to sign up for the whole year. You sign up month to month. They do a different project and emphasize a different technique every month. We like to say all of our classes here are technique based. So we're not just giving you a board and saying, here, throw some acrylic paint on this. You're actually learning art techniques and from master teachers. We have really awesome teachers here. Also in our after-school arts program, we have pottery for kids and also for adults, of course. But we have pottery for kids, and then we have our general arts program for kids. So come see us. We always have our handy-dandy class list. You can also go online at Monroe Walton Arts and see what classes we offer. We have 60 to 70 classes every single month offered for kids and adults, and not just in the classic kind of drawing and painting kinds of things. We also have a very active writers group, so we have a literary arts chair who is always putting together great writing programs for us. We have a high school writing program that's launching this week. So things going on, pottery as well, and live performances with our second Saturday open mic, which is also this week from 7 to 9 p.m. We have storytellers. Sometimes we have music, sometimes we have spoken word or poetry readings, all kinds of things. It's a great community time and it's free, and that's our open mic on Saturday this week. It's the second Saturday of the month from 7 to 9 p.m. So come see us. We have a day full of activities for you on Saturday between the drop-in workshops, the barbecue fundraiser, the petting zoo, the things going on here, and the open mic. So hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye.
Hi, I'm Jody Johnson, and I'm here with the Recreation Report. Today I have Brendan Craig here with me, who is a coordinator at our West Walton Park in Loganville, Georgia. Thanks for coming today, Brendan.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the programs that you're running that we have going on right now in the fall.
Well, right now for the fall season, we've got baseball, softball, tackle football going on. Numbers are looking good. Business is booming. Kids are happy, and we're having a great time.
Yeah, we're about a third of the way through our season. We'll end up somewhere around mid-October. So, obviously, we haven't had any rain, so no weather has been actually pretty good. A little hot for tackle football, but in the evenings it's been okay. Brendan, you started also another program that we have going on in Loganville exclusively, which is our flag football program. Tell us a little bit how that's going.
Absolutely. Flag football is great. It was a program that I put together by request of the community, and it's an 8-on-8 league, very laid back, but also very instructional. So for the kids out there that maybe don't want to take the bumps and bruises of the tackle league, flag's a great alternative to come out. It's only on Thursday nights, and we've got a great group of coaches that are committed to teaching.
And that's real good. This is the second year?
Second year, yeah.
And they play 8-on-8. Tell us a little bit about the rules of flag football.
So just to kind of promote more offense, we use the peewee sized football, which allows kids to throw further. It's easier to catch. Because we don't want to isolate the younger kids that might be a little bit more disadvantaged than the bigger kids. So we condense the field. We cut off about a third of the width of the field, and it's a 40-yard field. So very fast paced, lots of action, lots of scoring, lots of fun.
And so everybody's eligible to go out for passes or run the ball.
Yep.
The ball hits the ground, what happens?
Absolutely. It's an incomplete pass. Okay. But yeah, absolutely. The rules do allow any position to receive a pass, throw a pass. We just want to get everybody involved.
And very little contact that goes on in that?
There is some contact, but for the most part, it's minimal.
So it's a great alternative to those that want to be introduced to football, being that it is football. Everybody's a college football fan, so it's a good opportunity for them to play football. And if they're concerned, we don't have a whole lot of concussions in our tackle program, but if you are concerned about the the growth of your child and the brain that's growing, a lot of people are into those buzzwords. So it is an alternative for flag football. And how many teams do you have? How many kids registered?
I have 8 teams. There's 10 on each team, so 80 kids total signed up, and it makes it really easy for scheduling purposes. 8 teams at 4 games a night, so that means that everybody can play on Thursdays, and there's not too much time commitment to put into it either, so it makes it that much easier to manage.
The only issue, and I wanted to bring this up while football's in everybody's mind, the registration for that season is over. Obviously, we're a third of the way through the season, so next time the football season does roll around, and we usually register for that in May, the flag football will be on the registration form for you to register for flag football. And again, it's not necessarily an alternate to tackle, but if you're instead of baseball or just a new sport, it's a great opportunity for you to do. So I appreciate you talking about flag football exclusively, and then the other sports, like I said, are going real well. With that being said, a third of the way through, we're getting geared up for our basketball registration, which is coming up this September 9th through the 14th. You'll register for our winter program, which is our basketball. We normally have around 1,000 kids, boys and girls, ages 5 to around seniors in high school that we'll allow to play in our basketball program. Again, about 1,000 kids participate, so it's a great time to register either at Monroe at our Felker Community Center. You can go to the South Walton Park or the West Walton Park to register, or even better yet, you can go online to register at the convenience of your own home or workplace, and you can pay with a debit card or credit card, and the cost of it is around $85 to play. You provide your own shoes, and other than that, we provide your shirts, reversible shirt and shorts to play. So it's a great deal, and you can get 10 games at the end of the season tournament. It'll last, we'll start playing in November, and then we'll take a few breaks for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then we'll come back and we'll play through around the middle of February. So it's a great time to play basketball. The weather's always great inside these gyms. We play at the 5 gyms that the county has to offer. So registrations is September 9th through the 14th. Please don't miss that, because there is limited space. So I would register earlier to the 9th as you can, because there is limited space. Once we get the 5 gyms full, we have to cut it off just because we just don't have enough space. So try to get in through the 9th through the 14th. Online's the best way to do it. With that being said, we have a lot of other programs. Make sure you go online at waltoncountyga.gov. It's the best place to look for all the programs that we offer, or a pavilion to rent, or one of the many programs that we offer as far as exercise programs, or you just want to join the gyms. It's a great time to join and re-register for your annual membership for our gymnasiums or our workout centers. So come on in and do that. And again, go to waltoncountyga.gov for all the information. And always remember, sportsmanship starts at home. Thank you very much.
Hello, Walton County. This is Kevin Little with Chairman's Report on Walton Entertainment. I want to talk to you a little bit about several things going on as we kind of ease from summer into fall. Well, our paving season will be winding down. We're still paving a couple of roads throughout the county, and the state is also involved paving a few. We want to wind that down. If you do see potholes or any kind of major problems, we will work on those throughout the winter months. And then we'll come back and we'll build our shoulders on the roads that we have paved, some of the ones we hadn't, and then we'll also be doing some striping upgrades and some signage upgrades throughout the county, trying to, as we get to the early evening darkness, and we'll try to be able to get those roads took care of for you. The city of Monroe and a couple of cities around, working with the county, we've been able to enhance some of the areas in the downtowns. As Spring Street in Monroe is getting close to being the left turn lane extension is complete. And then they'll be coming back and they'll be doing the through lane that'll go all the way through to almost to Home Depot, which will be just some striping changes there. Hopefully can move the traffic and make that work a whole lot better. Been several questions to me about the DOT and the where they've been cutting the trees. That was a project that they started on a couple of years ago. All around the state, they're cutting the interchanges and intersections and cutting the right-of-way beautification there. And also, it's a twofold situation that when winter comes, if there's ice on the road at night or water on the road, it won't freeze if the sunlight's hitting it, so it kind of cuts that back and clears that up. So that's been some of the questions that people have asked, and they're beautification, but it's also to try to clean things up. We got a lot of things going on as we go into winter. I'll be making an announcement here probably in the next couple of weeks. I'll have Walton Entertainment out. We're going to do the Splash Water Park groundbreaking and the adaptive field at between. We're just finalizing getting some state permits on that, and we'll be ready to get that up and going. It'll be ready for next spring and summer, and be something nice to have for all of us here in Walton County. We just completed a batting cage in Loganville, an indoor batting cage at West Walton Park. It was most of the funds were contributed by the Booster Club from West Walton, and so that's going to be something nice to have up there. We've had a family donate the funds for the one here in Monroe at Criswell Park, and it's been something really good to have, and so it's a good partnership that we have going on. Also, a little later on, this year, as the time rolls on, we'll be breaking ground for the fire station at Hardlabor Creek. That will be coming along probably in late October, early November. And then sometime before the end of the year, we'll also be breaking ground in Social Circle for the community center. There'll be a community center built in Social Circle very similar to the one at Felker. And so that's some of your splice projects that we're doing. We're getting those up and going, and very exciting things to be able to spend your dollars and spend them wisely, something that will touch everybody, and get the senior aerobics. That's one of the biggest things going on, and it's just a gym full. If you don't do senior aerobics, come check them out at Meridian or at Felker. It's a good thing. They're 2 days a week at Loganville and 2 days a week at Criswell. At Felker, and then some of the people, they go to all four of them. So it's just it's a good thing. Long time ago, we said in Parks and Recreation we were going to cover all ages, and this gives everybody an opportunity from the stick and ball sports all the way up into the senior aerobics. So, but that's some splice projects we got going on, and we did pass a budget, we did pass a millage rate, and so we're rolling pretty good into the new year on the county side. If you have any questions or concerns, please give me a call, 770-267-1316. Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in today. We recently had a visitor in the shelter. They came down here to look at a young Weimaraner mixed puppy that we had in the shelter. He was about 8 months old, and he didn't have a whole lot of training, so he was kind of hyper. As you'll notice today, some of the dogs we're going to show you, we got a lot of these, quote, teenage dogs in the shelter. They're about 6 months to 10 months old. The people that were here commented, we go to a lot of shelters and there's a lot of these young dogs in there. And so there's something that happens. People get cute puppies. They've got them for the first 2, 3, 4 months of their life. They're real cute, but they haven't spent the time to train them. And so these dogs get a little bit bigger. They're about 8 to 10 months old. They're kind of rowdy because you haven't trained them. And instead of taking the time, they just think they're broken and want to turn them into the shelter. And so that's why we have a lot of dogs that are in that age range right now of 8 to 10 months old that need a little bit of training. So if you've got a puppy out there, you're thinking about getting a puppy, remember, they don't train themselves. You're going to have to do some work to train the dog. And maybe if you got the time and got the patience, you can come adopt one of these teenage dogs. They do learn real quick. I've taken dogs out that are turned in because they're just rambunctious, and within 5 minutes they're walking on a leash, they're learning how to sit and doing really well. So if you've got a young dog, make sure you get him trained. Don't just turn him over to the pound because now he's big and obnoxious and the kids don't want him anymore. Take the time. Remember, a pet is for life. And so now we're going to show you some of those dogs and cats that are here at the Walton County Animal Shelter.
This is Harley. She's probably about 8 months old, female, not spayed, very sweet.
This is Keno. He's a pit bull. He's a neutered male. He's 2 to 3 years old. He is current on all of his vaccines. He is food aggressive, so that would be something you need to watch out for if you decide to adopt him.
Sit. This is Oakley. He's a shepherd mix. He's probably about 8 or 9 months old. He's neutered, very sweet, needs a home fast.
This is Ace. He's about a 8-month-old boxer mixed puppy. He's had all his shots. He's ready to go into a new home. He's had his rabies shot and his other puppy shots here, so he's good to go. It's just a $40 adoption fee to take this baby home.
Here we have a pit mix. It's a male. He's probably 5-6 months old. You see he's got lots of energy. He's really sweet, looking for a good home.
So before you stress out, pack the car and drive hundreds of miles for a small 2 or 3 day vacation. Why don't you sit down and see what state parks are near you and decide on a weekend away at a beautiful state park close to home. Welcome to Hard Labor Creek State Park. This is a 5,804 acre Georgia state park located between Fairplay and Rutledge, Georgia. There is so much to do in any Georgia state park. I encourage you to grab the family, grab a camera, get out this weekend, and visit a state park near you. It'll be the most fun you've had so close to home. Recently, I stopped by Hard Labor Creek State Park. It's just a short drive from where I live, and this is a perfect place to get back to nature. Whether you take a stroll down one of the many nature trails, or perhaps you just want to come over and enjoy a weekend of camping, or fishing, or just sitting around and doing nothing, then Hard Labor Creek State Park is the perfect place.
Hard Labor Creek is just under 6,000 acres of public lands between Morgan and Walton counties. We were started as a CCC recreation area in the 30s and given over to the state in 46. Since then, we've grown to include campgrounds, equestrian campgrounds. The 2 original CCC group camps are still here, which are real popular through the summer with churches and different large groups. We also have 20 cottages recently renovated and different picnic shelters and group shelters to use throughout the day. Well, we have several programs as we head into fall. The first coming up is our Persid Star Party. That's on August 10th from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. That'll be down at our beach area. We've got very little light out here in this area of the county, so you should be able to see all the meteors as they come across the sky. It's easy to see how kids, especially at this park where our cell coverage isn't great, you can come out and really get away and really connect with those closest to you instead of worrying about, people that are far away. You can really sit and focus on your fishing or take quiet time on a trail or practice your mountain bike skills through the summer. And you can continue that into the fall. People forget we're 20 minutes from Madison, so it's not a big entry. You don't have to have a tent and or an RV or spend a bunch of money on a cottage or anything. You just come out for the day and have a picnic and enjoy each other instead of, rushing around and doing what you need to do.
Creative artists can offer you a wide range of video production. Call the experts and discuss your project today, whether it's your special event or your company. Creative Artist, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist produces this program you're watching. Call Creative Artist today, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist, they'll put you in the spotlight. Are you in need of tractor work, bush hogging, grading, cleaning, sod installs, and drainage repair? Then you need Bold Springs Landscape Solutions. Bold Springs Landscape Solutions is a licensed, insured, and certified landscape solutions company. Their services include grading and drainage, bush hogging and clearing work, as well as fencing, landscape, and sod installation. Contact Bold Springs Landscape Solutions today.